show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Give praises to Jehovah, from whom all blessing and knowledge will flow. Blessing and knowledge will flow. The Village Talk Show, dedicating to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life, helping each one of us in realizing our dream at any age, any point, starting from today, day. Success. Come one, come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come one, come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Success is not spoken, it is done. Success is done. Come on now. The Village Talk Show. Talk Show. The Village Talk Show.
Good evening, good evening. What's going on? What's going on, peoples? How's everything going out there? I am in Bayside, Queens at a baseball game. Look up. What's going on? Well,
Frozen. What's good, John? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Jay? What's going on, man? Happy 4th to you, the family, and to our listeners on the Village.
Same.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Slow one.
Yeah. All right. So before I do anything else or start the program, I want to make sure that I wish my wife a happy belated birthday. All right. On Monday was her birthday, so she had a little bit of a celebration. So took her out to dinner so she can eat and everything else. So very excited, for her. So how you guys doing?
Been great, man. Just diving in, creating my stories, writing. Just doing a lot of writing and reading. So that's what I've been doing. It's still kind of recovering from a little cold.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yes. You're a little bit sick over the weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do y'all think regarding the election?
Wait, hold on 1 second. One second before we get to that. Let's just first of all thank all the villagers out there for who've been with us for the year, and we're dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life through education, helping each one of us in realizing our dreams at any age, at any point, starting from today. I got to tell you, dude, there's just so many things happening, right? There's so many things happening in our world. And is that what you want to start off? Which one? You brought up so many things right now. Which one you want to start at?
You got election results. You have the trial for P. Diddy Combs. I mean, you have a multitude of things, but you could jump.
Nah, I'm asking you. You start us off. You tell us what you want. You're the big dog, right, John?
Well, starting off the election results. Zorhan, presumptive Democratic nominee for November. He really he did better than expected. It seems like a lot of millennials came out and voted for him. Now the question is, how will he fare in the general election? You got Adams, you have possibly Cuomo, you also have Sliwa. The question is can New York City deal with with the policies of how do you pronounce Mandat?
As a socialist, let's call them what it is. Can New York City deal with the policies of a communist? Will they come out and vote against communist ideals, right?
I can't hear you.
And so that's where the question comes in, John. But he won this. He won this election by
Be
over
louder,
50.
Roger.
The primaries by over 50,000 votes, or close to 50,000 votes. Um, and so the question becomes: Will New York City come out and vote against communism? Or are we at that point where we're looking at saying anything's better than Trumpianism?
I think
And
he's maybe like the anti-Trumper that people are looking at him, but most of all, the question is the policies that he is espousing. Can he deliver on them?
that's always my argument, right? I was watching a stump speech for him when he talked about um, $2.90 bus fare. I mean, I do agree with some of his policies. Don't get me wrong. I don't agree with but I don't think bus fare should increase. I think if anything, it should decrease. Um, I think that would help out the economy. I do like the idea of the. I don't like. I never liked the idea of affordable housing. I do love the idea of low income housing, right? Which
I
is
mean,
different from.
Roger, but he has not talked about. Everybody could talk about low income housing. Everybody could talk about freezing the rents, but nobody has talked about freezing the water, sewer, real estate taxes for the small
Exactly.
landlords.
Exactly.
No, he's not talked about. It's like there's no incentive to be a homeowner. There's no incentive to be a landlord. No, the bottom line is there's no incentive to be a homeowner. That's what
So,
basically. I mean, the tenant gets all the rights.
and the issue here, John. Let's add to that. Let's add more to that, right? The middle class, which is my fear, right? The middle class is going to suffer dearly because the middle class, you work hard to own a home. So under this regime, you're going to lose it, right? And to be honest with you, right? People don't, what are you going to do, right? What are you going to do to support yourselves and maintain your homes, right? Who's going to pay for this? Where these taxes? Remember, people don't understand something. The city only makes money from regressive taxes that we spoke about,
Yeah.
right? From property tax and um, personal income tax, right? That you pay, and like purchasing taxes, right? That's where the city makes money, right? Um, right. So if you're freezing taxes on low income, freezing the rent, getting rid of bus fare, you're going to bankrupt the city, right? Inflation is going to go up
But you know what?
ridiculously.
But our millennials. I mean, they like freeness. They like
Yes,
free.
yeah.
They like
I,
free.
I,
I can understand they can't afford to live here. They like free. They like to work remote. I mean,
right. But let's add more to that. They feel they feel entitled, right? I've seen some people be like, I'm watching one clip of a show, John, where the kid brought his father to court, right? Brought the father to court because his father bought him right. His father bought him an EV car, right? And so he felt that um, he felt that his father should have bought him a Lamborghini and a sports car. This 19-year-old schmuck, right? Because they feel entitled. They feel like their parents have to do everything for them, and that's not right. And I guess that's what you're talking about when you say freeness.
What do you think, Andre?
Wait, say that again.
I said, what are your thoughts, Andre?
No, regarding I didn't finish your
The
Roger.
elections, the elections. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think really, and going back to your point earlier about a lot of young people seem to have come out and voted, it just made me think about how we've talked about the elections over the years regarding why people are not coming out to vote. And perhaps the young people are seeing something new. You know, they feel like needing someone new who's going to present some sort of policy. Now, the question, as you all say, is that can this person deliver on what they're saying? You know, can you deliver, Mamdani, on the policies that you put out there? And I think what I've seen is that, you know, a lot of times people like to hear is that the politician will put out what they think you want to hear, and then they determine once they win, they say, okay, then let me see if I can deliver on this or that. So I think that's among the reasons why they came on and really voted for him. You know, Cuomo probably still had the whole issue with the nursing home and but a whole bunch of other stuff followed through to him during the election. So, you know, I think he won as a result of that. A lot of people, I don't think really what's the word I'm looking for? Believe in the election process as much as they used to, because it's frustrating to see the person who you want win, and then the changes that you want in society don't necessarily happen as desired. So that's my thoughts on it.
No, I agree with you. When it comes to I agree, but then the accountability that we have, you know, and you know, my question is, well, where are all these millennials when Trump was running last year against Biden? Where were they?
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Really, is that they only had the choice of Biden and Trump. So it's like they probably thought, you know, if I can't vote for the one that I want, or the one that I want isn't there, then I'm just gonna leave this alone. And people really do think that way, you know, because you got people who are in the middle. You know, I think it's the same with Hillary and Trump too.
Right.
People felt like, man, there's no good choice, because that lesser of two evil also is problematic. It's like you're gonna die by the sword or the gun. Which one? You have to choose one. And it's like, you know, so I think that's what happened. And I'm looking now at the next elections, national elections in the next few years, and I'm saying who's a Democratic candidate. I hear some people were talking about Newsom for a while, but then now the whole issue happened in California with the fire and how he handled that. And then I saw somewhere else where it says Obama is gonna have to come out of retirement. So it is just interesting to see. I'm like, who do we have? Who do we have right now?
We don't have a deep bench at all.
Right. So that's something right there. You know, the political landscape is continuously interesting. It's continuously interesting.
So then, all right, I got you on that, man. But so, you know, what are your thoughts about this Sean Combs trial?
Man, gosh, like I don't know, man. Like I think it's crazy. It's crazy that he got off, but at the same time, justice system did what justice system.
I think everybody got caught up in the whole domestic violence stuff, but this case was not about domestic violence.
Yeah, and I think he had asked for some sort of like bond or something like that, and
the judge denied him based upon his violence and stuff like that. I thought, being that these were lesser charges, the Mann Act, which usually they very rarely bring this case, you know, they could have cut a deal and did the Mann Act and saved the taxpayers a lot of money, but they chose to treat him like a gangster, and as a result got caught up with this whole RICO statute and sex trafficking. And, you know, I do not condone his behavior
Yeah, neither do I.
at all. What I don't appreciate is the way the government overcharges cases. And this was the typical example where the government overcharged, overreached.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
And as a result, although they got a conviction, there were 5 counts. Although they got a conviction on 2 out of the 5, but this is a black eye. One of the either former prosecutors in SDNY said, this is a black eye. This is a black eye for the Southern District.
Gotcha.
Because they touted this was like, this was the crime of the century. This is the next gangster, Mr. Sean Combs, Diddy. He's just a deviant sexual individual who has no respect for women. You know what I'm saying? To women, to even ask the woman to engage in activity like it shows you have no respect. You know what I'm saying? He needs to learn a lesson. He will learn a lesson because he's not coming out anytime soon. The judge is probably going to give him between 24 to 60 months. He's doing time, yo. Definitely doing time.
You're muted, Roderick. You're muted, Roderick.
All right. I think that he will do time, John, but I don't think. I think first of all, he's been in jail for almost 2 years already. Right? For almost.
He's been in there 13 months.
2 years already. Right? And he's probably gonna get another 2 years, maybe 30 months. Right? Gracie, door's not closed. Right? That's one. The second thing, why I feel, and I was talking to somebody about this yesterday, and I think one of the reasons why the defense, the prosecution lost the case is because they had idiots for witnesses, right? They had idiots for witnesses, and John, overreach is not even the word. Overreach is not even the word on the stupidity of what they were trying to do. And the last thing I have to say is, when people have money, John, that this much amount of money, it lets you see how immoral people are and can become because of the love of money. What they said, the love of money is the evil or something. I don't know what the expression is, but this is a direct example of how money clouds and make judgments. And so to me, it's disgusting. It really is disgusting on people's behavior and people's parts. And I hate to be a victim blamer, right? I hate to be a victim blamer, but everybody wasn't a true victim, right? A lot of these individuals wanted to be in this position, as came out in the testimony. Like Cassie, she left and came back. Why leave and come back? Right? If this situation is as bad as you're making it out to be, why do you want to leave the situation and come back out and come back in? And they made terrible witnesses because of the love of money and want to say they want to be in the presence of money.
When you say why leave the situation and come back, are you saying when Cassie leave and then went back with Diddy? Is that what you?
Yeah, like she went back to some of these. She left, right? She came back on her own free will, right? And some of these people, they were horrible witnesses. I was literally having this conversation yesterday with Empress Danielle. I don't know if she's on, but that's one of the things that we were talking about. Like it really is disgusting. And some of these individuals, right? And I even go back to the R. Kelly case. Yeah, R. Kelly deserved a book thrown at him, but I also feel like some of the victim parents, the book need to be thrown at them too.
Yeah.
Because even though it's wrong and it's immoral what he did, some of these parents knew what they were doing, and they put their children in these bad situations. But because of his status, right? And I'm gonna get the big fish. I'm gonna avoid the little goldfish in the little goldfish. No, some of those parents needed to go to jail as well,
Yeah.
right? And so in this case, these are adults.
Yeah.
These are adults. That's why they couldn't get them on these charges, John, because these are consenting adults to these issues.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the only reason why the judge might throw the book at him, John, honestly, is because of his status, not because of the situation. Because as you hear,
Yeah, but then he will get. I mean, he could throw the book for it, but if he gives him the max, he'll get overturned. First time felony offender, he's going to get anywhere between 2 to 5 years.
that's what I'm saying. That's about what he's going to get, right? That's what he's going to get because
Throwing the book at him would have mean the judge would have gave him 10 years easy.
Yeah, and that's. But again, right? Again, you know, you're going to get, one of my fears is that he's a black man. So what is the bias of the judge, right? Because we know that for the same crime, black and brown do not get the same punishment. We know that factually because it has been proven. So I'm interested to find out what the judge is going to do. Right? Because, again, it's a fact. They give a range, but it could be time served too with probation. But again, black and brown don't.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to give him, by the time he comes for sentencing, he'll have spent like 13 months in. Those 13 months are like you get every month you get a certain amount of months.
Would they put him in a halfway? By the way, what's a halfway house? A halfway house is what? You don't go to
basically
jail,
halfway house is basically it's not it. Halfway house means that they are put in a normal residential setting, but they are not permitted to leave the facility, only possibly for work or get a weekend pass or something like that. But you're not incarcerated.
Oh,
you're not behind the walls.
But can people come and visit you?
Yeah, definitely.
But you're allowed to work. You're allowed to work and those things.
Yeah, you're allowed to work, definitely.
But you can't travel. I guess that's
No, you can't.
You know what? You can hear my navigation going off because I'm going from one ball game to another ball game. I'm like a what is it called? I'm a soccer dad. I'm heading up close to you, Andre. I want to send out a condolences to our uncle. Yesterday, he lost his son. He had the son had a stroke a couple of weeks ago. And,
definitely. I also want to give a condolences to Mr. B. His sister Sharon passed away last week. Was at the funeral yesterday.
Yeah, and also to one of our Domino fraternity brothers.
Dr. Bryant, want to wish you a happy belated birthday, Dr. Bryant.
Dude, you're a month old, man.
No. What is wrong with you?
You're a month out, dude. But good, thank you though.
Good evening.
Roger.
Brown, welcome aboard.
By the way, Roger Kier, your favorite person, Benev says Zoran might be worse than Eric.
The
what you said?
He said Mamdani might be worse than Adams.
I strongly believe he is, right? I strongly believe he is. I've been going back for a lot of the reasons that John was saying and a lot of reasons that I'm saying. Like, he's going to take an economic toll, not just on the city, but on the state. That might even be America, right? Because if the business get overtaxed.
Hey, Dr. Brian, what are your thoughts about this?
Your thoughts on the election? You're muted.
I am tired already with the election. Seriously. I am.
Goes back to what I was saying, John. Goes back to what I was saying. Go ahead.
Listen, I go out and vote, but I'm tired because the thing is, I do see a movement behind him. But my question is, in a time like this, when you have a government system that's after you already, we're going to see more drama come out of this. They're on a go for him. Hey, we want to denaturalize him. We want to do this. We want to do that. Why? Why is he such a threat to everybody already? And he didn't even take any position yet.
Yeah, he's actually he's a real immigrant. He's a naturalized citizen, right? He's from Uganda.
So they want to denaturalize him not to win.
Because they want to say he's not a true American.
I don't know. This whole...
I want to pose a question to all three of you, right? Mm-hmm. Because I was having this conversation yesterday. What is a true American? I'm not talking about the first.
None of them, because they all are immigrants.
No. Wait. Hold on. We're not gonna get like the Indians that were here, the original Americans are the Americans. I'm talking about today, right? Today, what's a true American? That's what I want to know for today, not the original people. I'm talking about who is an American right now? That's the question I'm asking. Is it somebody who was born here? Somebody who wants to believe in the American dream? Somebody who is an American? What's the fight about? That's what I want to know. Start with you, Dr. Bright. You're saying something.
Real cute, Roderick. Real cute.
Ladies before gentlemen.
No, I'm just no. You don't have to go. I mean, somebody else can tackle the question. But you were saying, caught up with the Native American conversation.
I never mentioned Native American.
Right? There's no lie.
I never mentioned Native American.
I know. No, I know you didn't. I just want us not to go down that path. I didn't say you did. That's why I said I want to start with you, because I didn't finish asking the question, and then you were making a point, and I said let me finish asking it. So now I'm back to you. What are your thoughts on that? Who is a real American? Because this fight, this need to get rid of people, this immigration issue, illegal, this blah blah blah.
What the government right now, based on what I am noticing, it's mainly white individuals. For them, that's who, for them, American is. Not the immigrants, not blacks, but blue eyes, blonde hair. For them, there is a look that they're looking for. So
you're talking about neo-Nazism, basically.
I'm not saying that I based on what I'm seeing and noticing, that is what the message is coming through.
Andre, are you finished, Dr. Mark?
Yep, that's it.
What is an American? That's what it is, right? What is an American?
Well, it could be two. It could be two questions, right? It could be twofold, right? What is your view of Americans, and what do you think is being portrayed now as an American?
Are you gonna ask that now? After I finish answering, based on what I noticed.
I'm gonna come back to you because I realize. No.
It's really what is.
I realized I didn't ask you that.
I mean, what is an American? It's a perspective based on the experience in America. So, am I American? Well, based off of my citizenship here, right? But also, I think even going to the other question, which is perspective, is how people who are born here even view America. Perhaps some people might look at it as like blue eyes blonde hair individual. When we think of classism. So I think it's just, I don't think there's one necessary definition to it. And so for me, really, an American is someone who is able to leverage the opportunities here in America. You know, that's what I have right now. But yeah,
Dr. Brown, I go back to you with the same question. Who's your on the? I really do like that answer, Andre. But I want to go back to Dr. Brown. Who's your American? Who's an American?
Who's an American right now?
Yes, in your eyes, not. I get what you're saying, like what they're trying to do now to make America white again, right? And that's America. But who's America for you? What should America represent for you?
America should represent opportunities. It should represent diversity because that's what you do see. That's what you come across all the time.
That's what makes America great, the diversity.
And then you're taking a little of each individual. So to be honest with you, it is a lot of West Indians come to America for a greater opportunity and to be able to make the best for them so that they can continue to bring out the best in others. That's what America stands for. Yes, you might not have been born here, but eventually you become a part of the culture by your contributions, by some of the things that you have not only developed or made or do, but you are a part of the culture when you do get involved. It could be in all types of things. It could be politics, it could be education, it could be the medical field, it could be anything, business wise. But you are
Right.
leaving a legacy, you're building a legacy, and then an extension of you. If you're naturalized, you create America based on some of your culture and you bring that along with what your day-to-day experience is. So it's developing. America's constantly developing. That's what it's supposed to do because it is a melting pot and it's going to continue to melt.
So, and question becomes,
You're breaking
what
up,
is
Roger.
your version of America? What version of America, John, versus what people are trying, like the current policies are doing to make America what it is? So, what do you think the people want America to be versus what do you think America should be, John?
What America should be?
Yeah, versus
America, it should be a reflection of America. America should be a reflection of the people that are here. It also is America's the land of opportunity without putting any obstacles and just hard work. So when you think of America, you think of a country that looks like what America should look like, what the world should look like, but also be given have the opportunity to to have that opportunity to become from growing up in poverty, living in poverty, an opportunity to advance to a level of financial secure status. That's what America is. America is the land of opportunity, the land of opportunity, and the open mindedness of other cultures to really make America what it is. Great. America is great because of the diversity that exists with our people. But the one thing that our people tend to not be is we're not open minded enough to look at other things. It doesn't cost a lot to just listen to someone. Just listen to them without passing judgments. And then at that time when they're done, respond and let them know this is not an adversarial situation. We can agree to disagree.
I think that all the points that you guys are making are great ones, right? I think for me, if I were asked that question, now, everything that you guys stated, America is made up of about 61% of people who consider themselves white, right? And so the other 39% of people are other. But why are people considered white, black, or other, right? Why? When you get cut, you bleed red. You can have children together, no matter your race, culture, creed, ethnicity, whatever, right? I think the problem that I see that America is moving away from is moving away from its legacy, right? America's legacy, and John, I'm going to use your word. It's diversity. America's legacy is the American dream and the pursuit of happiness, right? The pursuit of happiness in America. That's why people come here, even though you might have had a better life in your country. Like, if you think about it, John, the amount of money that I made, or Joanne makes, or Andre make in your ancestral country, you would live like a king or a queen, right? But you come here, right? But you come here with even with those things, knowing those things, you come here because you feel like America, it is open for people. And I think on the scaredness, the 500,000 Haitian that Trump wants to remove, or the alligator Alcatraz that he has created, it's changing what the idea and the legacy of America is. And that, to me, is the difference between the two, and why America cannot be and will not be great as it's ever going to be. And what Donald Trump and the people like Donald Trump is doing, the laws and the things that they're putting into place, is setting America back, and will set America back hundreds of years. Well, maybe an exaggeration of hundreds, but it will be decades before America can come back together again. So what do the audience think? What is everybody's thought process on that? So that's important. I want to move on to well, let's talk about alligator Alcatraz. Down there in the Everglades in Florida, they want to hold that as a detention center to keep immigrants, providing a bed, providing certain things. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Want to start with John?
I can't hear you. What you say, Roderick?
Your thoughts on alligator Alcatraz?
Andre? John?
Alligator Alcatraz. Hey, this is what he said he's gonna do. He is the president of the United States. That's it.
Can you guys hear me?
I hear you. I hear you. Alligator Alcatraz.
Just echoing John, the immorality of it. But as I said, that's what he said he was gonna do. And really, the fact that there's that legal and ethical scrutiny there, but he already doing it. So it's like, how do we combat that?
Register to vote. Register to vote. Register to vote.
Someone might
take part in these local elections in your community. Put the House back into the Democratic hands, and that's one way to stop them.
One thing I've said, nobody can make a difference in Trump right now. Trump is going to be president as long as he's alive for the next 3 years. right? Midterm election is where it's at. So in 2026, you don't vote some of those senators out. You don't vote the Congress people out. You're in trouble. So that's where it is. So no complaining if you stand alibi. Yeah, Andre.
I was gonna jump to this other thing as well, but I don't know if John wanted to say something.
Go ahead.
Just an update, really, with how the jobs data came out. So the Federal Reserve wanting to cut interest. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Andre.
I was just saying that Federal Reserve is still keeping a stance on cutting interest rate, and the fact that we had 147 new jobs added, which is above the negative 110K. Unemployment rate even dropped to 4.1% from 4.2%, and our average hourly earnings rose 3.7% year over year, which is good in the sense. So, but the more jobs, that's more money, and if people have more money to spend, it can also.
Andre, you're talking about the jobs report that just came out?
Yeah. So it just.
Yeah, well, it wasn't as successful as Trump and them thought it would have been. They thought at least 100,000 jobs would have been added, but it was only like 33,000 or something like that for that quarter.
147. It was 147. Let me double check my thing just to make sure. But either way,
well, I think the number might be what you said, Andre. But I think what John said is valid. That it was below expectation, right? It was below expectation. But is it helpful to America though?
No. So it coming in, it rise by the 147,000. They were expecting a little bit less, but the more jobs that's added now, there is that chance of no interest rate cuts. The market was looking at it as like maybe like a 23% chance of cutting this month, but there's not going to be no. And when that data came out, that 23 went to 6%. It's like, nope, there's no cut. That would be annoying to Trump. The market's still looking at September as rate cuts time period, but for that to happen, really, the tariff issue gotta go, and tariff resume on Tuesday. So we're just gonna see what impacts it may still have coming Tuesday. But that's just really the update right now. They're delaying interest rate cuts until expectation September. But who knows? We got August and we got this month.
You know what I'm thinking about? All of these things don't matter. You know what matters?
Why?
When I go to the supermarket and I can't afford to buy food.
Yeah.
Right? When I go to the clothing store, and things are at a ridiculous value.
Yeah.
So in America, they make it sound good and blah, blah, blah with these numbers. But then how is my pocket?
It's interesting you say, because I'm thinking on it too. The more I get into investing and all that, these numbers matter to me, because then now it informs me of how the markets will operate. So this is like that's when I really would start saying. So just I think it's important still knowing those numbers and how it informs the market. So if you start to do a lot of investing, you realize these numbers. But yes, I agree. The consumer is going to the store. It's just like, who cares about these numbers, man? Can I afford the stuff that I'm trying to buy? And that's the question itself. And they're not necessarily thinking of like an individual consumer in an individual area. They're looking at America as a whole. So one area might be way more impacted than another, and they're trying to really see the numbers there and kind of do an aggregate average. So I can agree with what you're saying there.
You know what's interesting? My son and his friends were having a conversation about the fact that, hey, you know, if these things are expensive now, we're not going to be able to afford anything. So they're looking at that. They're paying attention like, yo, we won't be able to afford if the prices are outrageous the way that it is. You know, when we get older, what are we supposed to do?
Start learning to save and invest.
Well, that you know, it goes back to you know, what we started the show with the election, right? With socialism, right? That's only going to jack prices up, because affordability, prices don't go down, right? Prices don't go down. So if things are not affordable, then what are you going to do, right? Because your income, and these kids who are feeling, a lot of this generation feel really entitled, right? They feel like mom and dad they're supposed to do things for us, and we don't need to work. We don't need to. Those long days of children working, try to earn an income, those things don't exist anymore. Kids are like, oh, I need Roblox money. I need to buy new pairs of shoes. I need you to pay the rent. And you know, it's just there. And so they in themselves don't have certain values that would help them to make it in the future. Because again, it's about, what are you doing for me? I expect this, but you give me that. When we were growing up, you take whatever your parents gave you. You eat whatever was on the table. Kids nowadays are like, oh, I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't get me that, we have a problem. And that's going to that means they have no sense of accountability, you know, in the future. Yeah. And that's going to be a problem. And it's going to be hard to survive if they don't have a good education. They don't have a good sense of moral. They don't, and those things. So certain ethical things that's missing, that's going to be a problem, right? That's going to be a problem. So God help us and help our children.
I mean, right? I think you know, we still, I mean, we know, and we are present information to the people, so they're focused. So you know, and Warren just said it right here too, I believe. They're focused on the generational wealth that they think their parents are building. Well, yes, right. And so I think even what parents can do, pass on that knowledge. So if you know about what's going on, you really have to double down. A lot of young people today have a little bit more entitlement, I think, than young people of the previous days. But that's what the parents of previous days said about the previous days. So there's always that something that the new generation will say about the next generation, and so on and so forth. And we just have to really figure out, how do we understand what they're going through and at the same time discipline them in preparation for tomorrow. I think that's, we have the information here. What do you think, Joanne?
I do agree that we do have to prepare them, that life is not the same as it used to be 10 years ago, 5 years ago, that things are constantly changing.
Yeah.
And that in order for you to be prepared, open up your eyes. Don't drink everything that's given to you. Don't drink anything, period.
Yeah, exactly.
Warren says, teach your children the value of investing.
Oh, yeah.
And then investing early. And then he also said they can start small.
That's it. And people think that it takes a lot of money to really start. Like Roger, you're muted. It takes a lot of money to start investing. Some people can start with $50. I have a custodial account for my youngest sister, and it's just been adding money there, and now it's growing, just bit by bit by bit. You know, and she's what now? About to be 15 in September. You know, so it's just really even starting with $50, just $50 monthly, and then knowing when to invest and what to invest in. I think that's the other thing too. Really, is just like knowing where to start, how to start. You know, so we do have that Chris coming in sometime this month. So you're gonna really kind of navigate. We got some good data on what people are looking for. A lot of people just want to know investment strategies and investment. You know, so shout out and thank you to the villagers who have filled out the form. I'm posting the link again in the chat. So if you haven't filled it out, you could fill it out click on the link in the chat and just fill out that. It's like a minute. It's like 1 minute, all right? But we do have Chris coming on. And he's gonna really kind of just do a little 15-minute kind of run through on some of these things that people really want, and I have him in here monthly. So appreciate that. I appreciate you all come through and really gain some knowledge.
You're full 100. You're full 100.
Come again?
No, I said full 100. You're right.
Oh,
all right. Hola, ¿cómo está? Good.
Oh, God.
Yes, all right. I was rushing. My son is complimenting my bad parking. Yeah, so they stopped the game for a minute here in Long Island because of the lightning.
Oh, we're in Long Island here.
Right by Jones Beach, by Wanta.
Oh, what time the game finished?
10 o'clock.
Okay.
You can come to. It's right. You could.
What's the score? What's the score, Roger? What's the score?
The game didn't start yet, right? No, but I'm saying, what's the score? Like, is it top of the first?
No, we have
3-0 bottom of the first. Okay, all right, there you go. But the lightning.
The lightning screwed us up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Quick question. Let's another topic that I was just at the press conference around the budget, and Mayor Adams is giving over $500 million to the arts, after school arts and arts enrichment. Money well spent. Giving more money to schools, right? It's long overdue. But do you think that's enough going to help him get elected?
Roger, it's never enough, but the whole point is, what we have would be efficient with what we have, and then show how successful it is, and based upon that, we can ask for more.
Yeah, that's see how it works. I'm glad that there's an emphasis on after-school programs, because gang violence is a bitch, and the kids who are susceptible to violence, susceptible to those things, they're gonna struggle if we don't provide opportunities for them. And I think that's the problem with a lot of these kids that we're talking about today, John, and the millennials, is that they went up through Bloomberg where everything was handed to them. And so these kids feel entitled. So maybe this next generation is going to feel that is going to come to an understanding that they can stay out of violence and get things done and learn different things to be okay. So that's just what I'm thinking. So I'm glad he's putting the money, he's vested, he's putting his money where his mouth is. I'm glad he's doing that. I'm very pleased about that. So I've been looking at his budget and how he's spending it. So I'm very proud. The city, I think, let me just say this about Eric. I might not agree with all his policies, but Eric, the city's safer than he found it, right? The city, the schools have a new focus, right? And to me, a better focus. So I bring it back a little bit because of what I saw with the budget. That I'm truly excited
But
about
but
it.
but see,
You know,
Roderick, that's the point. What you saw is that's not the message out here. You know what I'm saying? That's not the message. Unless you're up there and you're in the trenches, you see what's going on. So it's just this is the frustrating thing about politics, my friend.
yeah, a- and that's part of the problem. Like, what 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 needs to happen, right? What really needs to happen? I think that people really need to consider, you know, what are they doing in not reelecting him, or consider about that. But this is just a thought. I mean, again, it's just my thought because I was really listening to the budget and the budget allocation, and the importance of supporting public safety and our next generation, because the kids under Bloomberg are lost. The kids under Bloomberg are up the wazoo, and we are the citizens. I mean, Eric is not helping it, but Bloomberg started it. De Blasio made it worse. And De Blasio was the start of socialism in New York City, in America, and that's why he failed on the national level when he ran for president. And Mandani, I know I'm going back to the subject we started with, but he is worse than De Blasio. And if we think New York City is better with De Blasio, you have issues. Because unfortunately, Eric has to fix a lot of these things.
You say Mamdani is worse than the
Worse.
president?
It's even further left than De Blasio. But again, De Blasio did win 2 terms, and he won both terms hand down. But was he better for New York? Absolutely not.
All right, here's Warren. Warren is speaking. Say if they spend the money correctly, proper oversight is key. That was on the economics. Where's money coming from? Then he said the numbers are cooked, bro. Don't believe the smoke and mirrors of the police numbers. The problem kids are the COVID kids, bro.
Well, no, I don't think it's just the COVID kids. The COVID kids definitely 100% is the problem. 100% the COVID kids are the problem. 100%. Right? Right? You're full 100 with that. The COVID kids is a problem. Right? Because one, they lack socialization. You spend 2 or 3 years not talking to people,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's a problem. But it's not just the COVID kids, though. A lot of those kids, they didn't have to take tests, they didn't have to study. You just got a free pass to go to school, right? And remnants of that is still holding over.
Jennifer said, good evening, John.
Right? Where did Dr. Brian go? I missed her.
Yeah. Jennifer Joseph said, good evening, John.
Jennifer, I'm still waiting for my food.
Jennifer.
Hey, what's up, Jen? Jen.
Yeah.
Hey, to my sister Jennifer. How's that knee going? Yo, Jen, we coming to your house tomorrow for the barbecue or what?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Yo, can you just hit us up, Hey, John, if she don't even invite us, just invite my wife. She let me come. Right, just invite my wife, Jennifer. Don't worry about me. All right? So, yeah, because I'm hungry, actually. So let's go.
You and me both.
What's next on the agenda, Andre? Because I can't even see what the next topic is on the agenda.
The big beautiful bill.
Oh, the big beautiful bill. Oh, it's so beautiful. In fact, I heard it. The trial piece in Congress went through yesterday.
Wait, before you continue, John, Jennifer says bending it, and I don't know if this is to Roger. I think this is Roderick. Jennifer says I need to talk to your wife,
Yeah, yeah.
He's right there. He's right there. He's right there.
and then Warren says, John, we just need to go back to how we were raised. Can agree with that.
That's true.
And I agree with it in the sense that yes, but also think about the time period we're in as well. So how do we infuse those what we learn with what kids are experiencing now?
Yes, babe.
All right. Yeah, but how do you do that? That's the question. How do you do that? Or can you do that?
Wait, say that again.
How do you infuse? How do you do that?
You still double down on the kids and with discipline. Like for instance,
You can't just bring kids no more of my youth.
No. Listen. Right? Then that's what I'm saying. Andre, let me chill out.
Now you can't cut a kid's ass no more, my youth.
Yeah. What?
If you cut a kid's ass, oh my God, like I'm talking my kids to death, yo. And I'm like, are these kids even listening?
All right, but okay, so
I would thump them in their mouth, but that's not the point. I don't want to be getting to the point where you get hostile, because sometimes you get out of control. Like you can't be beating your kids like how John beat his kids. No, you can't do that.
Why not?
Right?
Why not? Yo, sometimes I see them. Listen, sometimes they're school and some aware how these kids go on. I'm like, yo, if I was a student still, boy, you wouldn't be able to do this right here. Like if I was a student in today's time, right? And I'm like, sometimes we are prevented because we're prevented from discipline in a certain way because the villages crumble. So it's just like, how do you get like the rest of the village to understand the importance of me being 3 blocks down the road, seeing your kid, and also still disciplining your kid, so that way the kid don't think, oh, once they leave home they can do whatever they want. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy today, man.
I agree. They have issues with you, or you can't do that. And like all of these studies that they tell you, right? All of these studies are a bunch of bullshit studies that tell you garbage about how to raise your kids. This is all garbage, right? You know what I'm saying?
These kids function off the internet, so we have to become the internet.
Yeah, that's true.
Warren said they function of the internet.
It's from one extreme. It's from one extreme to the next, right? They go from one extreme to the next.
That's true.
Right, and that's the problem. I mean, that's what we have now. We have Donald Trump on one side, right, and then now we're going to Mamdani all the way to the far left. It's just it, right? There's no in between in America. You denounce one and go to the other. So like people are really rejecting right wingism. Like look at what country is that? One of the southeastern.
Jennifer, the village is here. The village is here, but some people don't want to be a part of the village. They talk about the village all the time, but they don't want to be a part of the village in the way they act and their behavior. So you know what? We just got to keep moving, because there's a lot of us who are collectively can work together and get things done.
Jennifer, I think there is still a village, right? There is still a village. The role of the village has changed a little bit. There's still a village, right? I mean, the show is still here, right? The show is here. You're there. You talk to your friends. You have little groups. You talk. It is still a village, but the expectation of the village, I think, is somewhat different, right? The expectation of the village is no longer to raise the child, but to whatever it is that you can give the child, right? Not to help to raise the child. I don't know if I'm making sense when I say to give. Like we were talking about, the expectation that kids feel entitled. So the village is there to say, hey, don't beat the kid, not cut that kid's ass. You get what I'm saying? Oh, talk to the kid. That's the village,
Right.
right? So the focus of the village has changed, and I don't know if it's for the best. I do believe that we should talk more, help them out more, but I also believe that there's a point where you shouldn't talk anymore, but start cutting ass. You know?
Dr. Brian, you're very quiet. What are your thoughts, Doctor? You're muted, Dr. Bryant.
No thoughts.
Oh,
Why you don't have any thoughts, girl? You think the village still exists in the way that it always has?
No, but you know,
yo, Warren, you're so true, Ron. Warren, that's so true. We just got scared to talk to the children out there because these children are so obnoxious, man. So obnoxious, entitled. They don't even want to listen to you.
You know, it goes back to something I was talking about with the victim mentality too, right? With the victim mentality, the kids, a lot of the kids, you know, as soon as a cop walks in, oh, what did you do to the kid? Oh, it's just a kid. Until you have to deal with them in jail. Then all of a sudden they're no longer a kid. Now
Amen.
the other personality is different,
That's so true.
right? So the play and kids, you know, a lot of times we talk about it. Kids shouldn't always go through a victim mentality because they know some of them know what they're doing, right? And we as parents, as adults, and I think Warren is right. We're scared because we ourselves have been smitten. We ourselves have been now trained to behave a certain way. John,
Yeah.
when you drive in your car, Joanne, Andre, when you drive in your car, you see a police on the side of the road. Everybody's slowing down and stopping because
Right.
their minds are trained. You're going 55. If you're going 65 or 70 in a 65, the cop is not pulling you over, right? But if you see them, you automatically drop to 50 to 60 because you're trained that way.
Right.
Like you're driving next to a cop and you're going the speed limit, or the cop is going 50 and it's 55, you're going 52. Oh, I shouldn't pass the cop. Why the hell shouldn't you pass the cop? There's nothing in front of the cop. Don't have no siren on.
There's
Cop
a
is minding their
consequence.
business.
There's a rational consequence.
But there's no consequence.
Yeah, you don't want to the monetary consequence. You don't want to
But
spend no
there's
money.
none.
Really?
There's no. If
What's-
a cop is going 50 and a 55, right, and you pass the cop going 60, there is no consequence because you're not breaking the law. You only break the law if there's a siren going on, right? You're driving next to the cop. They're like when the cop pulls somebody over, you need to pull over further away from the cop so it doesn't cause an accident. The cop is driving the speed limit. You're going 55, 60. It's not going to bother you in a 55, right? You're not going to go 80 in a 65 next to a cop. There's a monetary consequence for that. But people, and it just goes back to how we train our minds, right? You see the cop on the side of the road, you're not speeding, you jam your brakes,
Right.
right? You know you're not speeding, but the cop is on the side of the road. Your mind says, I need to jam brake, which causes an accident or causes a traffic jam. So all I'm saying to us, like, we have to start training our minds differently. If you don't have a paradigm shift, we're screwed. Right? And I'm just giving the cops as an example of how our mindset is affecting us and what needs to change. So that's just my soapbox on that issue. Andre, so what else we have? We have a couple minutes left. What else do we have I can't see it because I'm obviously when I use my phone, I don't know how to navigate. So what else we have to talk about? Did I wish happy birthday? Yeah, I
We
did.
were talking about the big, beautiful, ridiculous bill.
Yeah. They called it,
So,
right?
and all these wonderful individuals, I think they actually passed it all the way.
Yeah, they did. Congress just went through that just now.
Okay,
But
last night
yeah,
we watched it. Today,
so you know the problem with that, right? What has happened to people on Medicaid and Medicare that
done,
really need it,
done.
right? Medical is going to go up tremendously for a lot of people,
Or they're
right?
gonna lose it.
Yeah. A lot more people that simple ailments are gonna grow into major ailments now
Mm-hmm.
because people can't afford to go to the doctor.
So you gotta thank your politicians.
No, not my politicians. My politicians voted against it. Yvette voted against it. Akeem voted against it. Those are my politicians. They voted against it. I don't know, not mine. Some other people. But I think they'll be, and you know what's the messed up thing, John? It's now the law. It's law now because it's not an executive order. That's the problem. Right? So I don't know. People are in trouble.
They are, man. But you know what? Everybody miscalculated the elections, and as a result, we have Donald Trump, and they have a majority in both houses, and this is what we have to. This is what we have to deal with.
Right? Absolutely. You know, I drove all the way up to Long Island and they canceled the damn game because of lightning.
Well, you know somebody had got electrocuted a couple of
When?
times.
When?
A couple of weeks ago, yeah.
This was last week. Last
Last
week,
week.
the little boy in
Yeah, in the
Central
Boston.
Park.
Well, he didn't get electrocuted. He got electrically shocked. Not electrically. Electrocuted means he died, yo. He didn't die. You know, his face changed a little bit, and his hair might have spiked a little, but he didn't die.
That he went to the hospital and he spent a couple of days there.
Yeah, I didn't say he didn't get hurt.
Jennifer said, we told them
No,
this would
Jennifer,
happen.
I don't want to hear from Jennifer until she say, yeah, we could go out to dinner.
She said, we told them this would happen.
Yeah, but we did. You talking about the big bad bill? Yeah, I agree.
Somebody left the dog.
Right?
It's a shame.
It
It's a shame.
it is disgusting, but it is what it is. Right? So
So tomorrow is
July Independence. Independence.
it
so
really Independence?
Everybody should be doing something. I mean, Cooperstown,
And we do have our independence. We all know that.
right?
Irrespective of what people may think of Donald Trump, we do have our independence.
Yes, that is true. I guys, I am going to scoot on out a little bit. I will see everybody next week. I'm getting ready to go to Cooperstown. Jennifer, I'm waiting for the phone call for the barbecue. John, what are we doing tomorrow?
We go Jennifer barbecue.
We're going to Jennifer for the barbecue. Jennifer, yo,
Dr. Bryant's gonna prepare her special sauce for the ribs. We're gonna be all right.
Did everybody know Dr. Bryant used to cater? She was a caterer, or still
For
is.
real?
Hey, Dr. Bryant used to cater burn. Dr. Bryant is a chef.
Enough
She's a
talent.
chef.
Enough
You didn't know
talent.
that, Andre?
Enough talent.
Dr. Bryant is a jack of a whole bunch of trades, yo, and a master of shit.
You heard that, Doc?
You know, I just shake my head at him and I leave him alone.
Right? Yeah. All right, you too. Take care.
Jennifer
All right.
birthday weekend. Happy birthday, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so Jennifer.
Hey, that's right, my sister. Happy birthday, Jennifer. Sunday, July 6th.
She said I am recuperating. Tell John to cook and come over. To cook and come over. Oh man.
Happy birthday. What are you now? You finally turned 50, Jennifer? That's good. Congrats.
Dr. Brian.
Right. Get him. I complimented her. I said she could cook. She's a caterer.
I don't know what you said.
I said you're a caterer. I said you're a jack of all trades and a master of. I know what I said.
Hey, Doc, gotta get him, Doc. Gotta get him, Doc.
You know what? I'm
Still
not
better
going
than a
to
master one.
All right. All right. Jennifer,
All
so tomorrow's the barbecue, yeah, right?
She's 35.
Right. I see that. So we're coming over. All right, do some barbecue. I wish these kids would hurry up and let's go, man. I'm all the way in Wantagh, whatever.
All right, folks.
All right, folks. Your
Have
pleasure.
a wonderful, safe holiday, everyone.
All right. Bless up and be kind.
All right.
All right. Good
So-
night, all.
And
Enjoy
blessed.
the weekend. All right. Stay blessed and be blessed. All right. Lefty.
Good night.
Going on. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.